And hey guys, we are back. The LEAP-CAST is back in full effect, guys. Welcome back to, well, the LEAP-CAST.
I don't think there was any sound on that intro. Was there supposed to be sound?
Yeah, I gotta fix that. I'll fix it later. So, hey, it's Dave's
Hello.
Dimension, the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. We have Super Awesome Geek Show,
Hello, guys. Hey, hey.
Super Awesome John, or should we say the holographic observer John is here today. Happy belated birthday to John. He
Thank
is
you. Thank you.
he's 5 years old today.
Yep. Big five.
So we are talking to Leapcast. Oh, we got Duff Man and Sam Hain. What's
Hello,
up?
guys. Hey, hey.
Sam Hain, I met him through a stream we did last week talking about the Ghostbusters Proton Pack, and we're going to be having him on a stream very time soon to
Oh, that's
discuss
cool.
that very cool HasLab item and maybe the potential future for Ghostbusters. But we're here to talk about Quantum Leap, episode 11 of Quantum Leap. This one was a bit of a. Obviously, they decided to air this and they timed it just right for Groundhog's Day this coming week, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
with the episode Leap, Die, Repeats. So we got Duffman's Dioramas hanging out. He's probably popping in a few people's streams because it's Tuesday, and it seems like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are just hella crazy. Who
William,
else
how
we
you
got here?
doing?
We got William H. Grimsley. There we go. We got LeBron Fett,
Hey, what's up?
Sam Hain, of course, and of course Duffman's Diorama. So, yeah, this episode, I thought it was a nice offering of Quantum Leap. Not exactly filler, but not exactly tremendously groundbreaking. At least not until the end.
Yeah, not till the 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 previous episode had more intrigue with the future and
Yeah,
what does Janice know and all that, and then this one just kind of
yeah.
they did pull Janice in, but it was more like, can you help us figure out the looping thing?
Now,
Like
anyone who didn't see the episode, it starts off with Ben leaping, and he's in a 1960s elevator along with some other people. He's in military garb, and like he's trying to figure out what's going on. And we have a great sci-fi actor, Robert Picardo,
yeah,
most notably from Star Trek Voyager as the Doctor, but we also know him. You know, he has a history with time travel shows, by the way.
yeah,
Um, he also starred as now he plays Dr. Woolsey in this show, in this episode, but he played Mr. Woolsey on Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis. Um,
yeah.
but he also was on a show called 7 Days, which appeared on the UPN network years ago. He appeared on one episode basically as the devil, very much like that one episode, The Boogeyman from the original Quantum Leap series, where Al was actually the devil the entire time. He played a similar character on the show 7 Days, which revolved around whole government conspiracy that they salvaged the Roswell spaceship and its fuel, and they're able to create a time machine that can go back only 7 days. But it's a cool, it's a nice. But I'm just cracking. I'm like, what? Seriously, they're calling him Woolsey? I'm like, Jesus, that's like, what did Woolsey get sent back in time and he got a promotion? Now he's a doctor. I mean, yeah. But it was a cool kind of nod, and it's some nice fun sci-fi. The other supporting cast are pretty much unknowns, with the exception of the young assistant, the scientist, that who we're going to talk about a little bit later. He has appeared on a lot of other shows. Most notably, he appeared on the later seasons of Arrow,
Oh,
and
did
he
he?
also
Okay.
had a small reoccurring role in oh god, there was an NBC show, Jane Doe.
Hmm.
He had a small reoccurring role there. So I mean, he's popped up here and there, different characters. But
Who did he
we get
play on
Ben.
Arrow?
I'm trying to remember his actual character, but he actually played a hero
Hmm.
who, believe it or not, lost his powers because his suit absorbed a nuclear bomb of all things. So, and this episode revolved around a nuclear reactor going nuclear.
There you go. Yeah.
or I'm sorry, a fusion reactor. Let me correct myself. It was a fusion reactor with hydrogen. So, I mean, Ben leaps into a kernel, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, and he's all geeking out because it's a reactor in the 1960s of all things. There are a few things that I want to nitpick, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Some things I don't think were actually historically accurate. John, you might be able to give a little bit of insight into this. So Ben is talking to Addison. Addison's like, "Oh, great, a leap where you're finally in your element, huh?" Because it's all science, right? There's a reporter. The lead scientist, Dr. Woolsey, is talking about this. This is clean energy. We find out more about that a little bit later on. And then there's alarms that are going off. We don't know what the hell's going on here. Alarms are going off. It turns out that the place is about to blow. Big explosions. Addison is telling Ben, run. It's too late. Everything blows up. Addison runs back to the project. Everyone is flipping out at the project because his brain scans, his heart rate, all his vitals flatline.
Yeah.
They lose Ben, and even Magic's like, what happened? They're like, we lost Ben. He's no. I promised I was going to get him home. Everyone's freaking out because, like, wait a minute, we lost him. But I mean, come on. First 5 minutes of the show, we know he's not going to die. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You're not going to kill your leaper in the first 5 minutes, and if you do, something else is going to happen. Plus, in the original Quantum Leap, we saw Sam in plenty of situations where he should have died right at the end of a leap, but he leaps out. The trilogy, the infamous trilogy episode with Abigail and Sammy Joe. In the one scene right at the end, he's leaped into Abigail's father, and all this fire from this building is collapsing on him. Sam leaps out, but the father dies in the fire. So we know our leaper is always going to get out in the nick of time. Same thing happens with Ben. Everyone's freaking out. They see all the flat lines, and then suddenly, the vitals come back. Brain activity, all the readings start to come back, and they're like, "Wait a minute, how is this even possible?" They were crying the ball in their eyes out a few moments ago, but now we get this. Now, John, what were you thinking at that moment?
Well, I mean, I knew he wasn't like dead. I just didn't know what. I didn't know there'd be like a. I mean, I should have known from the title of the episode, but I didn't really realize he was going to be in a loop. I just thought, okay, is he going to like just be forced to jump into someone else, or I really wasn't expecting anything.
Well, and what happens is, of course, Addison goes back and she finds Ben is now leaped into another body.
That was cool.
So
I thought that was neat that he was a different person, not the same guy over and over.
Well, see, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of the very last episode of the original series. I was thinking back to Stropa. That he said that he had tried to save them over and over again, save the miners. So I was almost thinking, is this a variation of that? Did they take some of that information, and is that somehow wired in or programmed into Ziggy in the accelerator? So I mean, that's one thing that was in the back of my mind is like, okay, wait a minute. Is this kind of like, okay, because Ben is a living person that, he, instead of repeating the same thing over and over again in the same body, he's going to keep jumping into each person. We still don't know all the answers to that, by the way. But he's in another body, and he's going through kind of a Groundhog Day scenario, Bill Murray. He's kind of reliving the situation, and he has to put his detective skills now to work to try and figure out, okay, what was the cause of it? Who is actually a part of this, or who's behind it? And, it's definitely an interesting tape, because the only time we ever saw Sam leap into another person the only time we ever had a reset was the evil leaper, Aaliyah, when Sam first meets her, and he leaps into Jimmy for the second time. That's the only time that we saw an actual reset. But here's the interesting thing. When that reset happened, John, you know this, Al also was reset. Like he remembered everything that happened. But we don't get, it's not like an actual reset. It's more like, I don't know, like a rewind, I guess you could call it. But I thought it was an interesting take. And plus, everyone at the project, I love how everyone's freaking out like, well, that's not supposed to be possible. Hello, this entire series, we've had things that aren't supposed to be possible. I mean, we've had Ben leaping out of his own lifetime, beyond his own lifetime, which this is another episode where he does that. Right? We've seen a leaper, leap while they're in space.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen people come across another leaper who's not even an established leaper as of yet. Remember our Leaper X? I mean, we've had a lot of things that aren't supposed to be possible. We find that there's an actual trajectory and leaping towards the future. So, magic.
Well, we also...
Jen, all you guys, you just need to, you know what? You can't be surprised by anything now.
We also just now found out that I think this is the first time that we got confirmation that the other leapers hasn't leapt yet in our time. It's from the future. Yeah.
And I mean, there you go. Blame it on LeBron. He left the coffee maker on.
Yep.
But it's when I'm watching Magic, I'm watching Jen, I'm watching Ian, I'm watching Addison. And Addison, I'm sorry, the actress who plays her, completely like overacting, tremendously overacting. Like when it looks like she was ready to kill someone. I'm like, I get like she just found out that Ben died. Just when Ben died, it seemed like she was trying too hard. I
don't know. I thought the initial reaction was fine. I thought she was all right. Because that's what you would do. You would collapse and fall to the floor.
Yeah, but I can see it, but I think she was putting too much emphasis in it. And especially she's a soldier. I mean, she knows that she's going to lose people, and that just doesn't come off as how a soldier would react, even for their significant other.
I don't know. I've never been a soldier. I don't
know. My dad, when he was alive, he was never like that kind of. It was more solitary, kind of like, yeah. But I don't know. It's this episode really felt like parts of it were kind of just thrown in and rushed. It's like maybe they constructed this episode to kind of throw emphasis, and I think the real pivotal story point isn't that Ben is leaping in each person one at a time. The pivotal part is a certain Calavici that we now have at the project.
Giving her more free reign of the place was kind of the interesting part. And then I think it was in this episode that she didn't. Wasn't it this episode that she mentioned the guy's name who was the other leaper, or was that last episode?
Might have been last episode.
And then she confirmed. She confirmed two things. She confirmed the other leaper's real name, so we have the name, and then she also confirmed that he was from the future, that he hasn't leapt yet in their time. But somehow Janice must have, or Ben must have got a message from the future saying this is going to happen.
And for all we know, that guy, or an earlier point of that guy, but still a future point, that could be why he went up to Ben and told him to back off.
Why are you following me? Yeah,
because what probably happens is Ben comes across him at some point in time before he takes his initial leap.
Yeah,
but where the guy is actually a leaper already. And this is going to tie into some other stuff in the episode, John, and you know where I'm going with this. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Um, after the group realizes that he's in a loop, and they find out, Ian finds out. Well, because was it Magic is talking to Ian about like, well, are there any experts? And he's like, yeah, there's one. She's yes, there is a published paper, and there is one expert. Turns out it's Janice, of course. But what cracks me up is, okay, not only are they holding Janice there, but they're giving her changes of clothes because that wasn't the outfit that she was brought in. I'm like, oh, okay.
They let her
like
pack a bag. They let her pack a bag.
Okay, it's a government project. Okay, you have Marines. You telling me you don't have like military scrubs or anything like that you're just gonna throw her in like an oversized jumpsuit or something? But no, she's like wearing her like regular Versace, whatever friggin' high end retail store clothes. Speaking of high end, we got the Squatches in the house.
What's up, Squatch? Hi, Ricardo.
I mean, it's like, okay, I get the feeling, and come on, you and I called it. We talked about this before. Something's going to happen in the next couple episodes where Janice is going to kind of earn a little bit more trust, a little bit more freedom to be more part of the project. And what happens? You know, she can walk around the base. I mean, we still don't even know how many levels the project is actually,
Yeah.
And part of me was almost wondering, because we never
do they
really
sleep
found
there?
Huh?
Do they sleep there?
I don't know. For all we know, Magic's got like an underground penthouse that's like, he's got the jacuzzi and everything. I mean, why not? But here's the thing that kind of like when I saw, okay, that the original elevator, Ben going down the elevator for the first time, and everyone else, and then seeing the inside of the facility there, I'm like, could this have been where that would eventually become years and years later Project Quantum Leap? That's where I was curious, because we didn't find out where exactly this location was. I don't think. I have to watch the episode a third time, but I don't think there's an actual mention of where this reactor was. Because
I don't think they mentioned it, but
because Addison with her Alexa, her little Alexa in her hand, she tells Ben, okay, you're in this year, this place and date. We don't get that. There's no exposition about that at all. It's just kind of like straight to the point. Oh, you're in your elements. She was just kind of being kind of an idiot. And I'm sorry, more and more, I'm starting to dislike Addison now. It's nothing against her. I think it's how the character is just kind of being a little needy at times. It's just you watch a show and there's some characters that you just kind of like find annoying in a way. That's how she's kind of getting to me a little bit now. But we don't get where the location is. And when I saw like the water chamber for the fusion reactor, I'm almost thinking, like, could that have been a precursor to Quantum Leap? At some, the original project in New Mexico, in Stalin's Gate, New Mexico. I'm like, for all we know, this could have been like maybe they hollowed out more of the mountain and then they expanded it because they felt it was a good facility. It held a reactor at one point in time, so why not again? It almost made me wonder, could this have been something that could have been the stepping ground towards the actual Project Quantum Leap, decades before it ever happens.
Except before he saved the thing, it was a reactor that exploded, so you wouldn't.
Yeah,
I don't think they would have just plugged it up and not used it again.
It depends. It depends on how large the explosion it was. If it was contained within the mountain, it could have been excavated, and then who knows. So, I mean, come on, look at Stargate. Stargate was housed, and it used to be a missile silo.
Yeah.
At NORAD.
But now,
who knows?
But now I think you could be onto something, because now that he saved the reactor, it's like, well, they're not going to keep using that tiny little thing. They would have expanded it to something much bigger. You know what I mean? So that it could get shut down in a usable state and then repurposed for Quantum Leap.
Okay, because Ben leaps in back in time, he saves that reactor, and that's where they build the new quantum leap. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, see? There you go.
Uh, but I mean, it's and speaking of, okay, there's one during one of these leaps that Ben did his rotation, I guess you could call it, his carousel leap, I guess you could call it. During one of these, as the young scientist, as the young assistant, he shouts to everyone, tells everyone the place is going to blow. That there's a bomb and whatnot. He goes down there with Addison, and okay, I get that it's a pipe bomb, but it looked more like a pipe bomb would now.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
there's that now because this is the '60s. We know it's the '60s because of the clothing for one, two because there's a
Well, they
Kennedy.
said it was
Yeah,
1962.
yeah, it was a Kennedy a Kennedy speech being played on the TV at the same time, so we know it's early '60s. But like, what about the freaking egg timer? Did we have that style egg timer back in the early '60s? I thought that was more like '70s, '80s, more so.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know
it
either, but
didn't.
it definitely looked weird.
It didn't look like it. It didn't look like it fits. For one, two, there was a small little like circuit board that had the blinking red LED or blinking red light, and it didn't look like it fit the time. You know, something like that. We didn't. They didn't exactly have Radio Shacks all over the place like that. I mean, you would had to have taken things apart to try and find some kind of circuit board, and then modify it to even work in that fashion. And of all things, what was it? It was his pen because we find out that the trigger is actually a pen that doesn't even work. So to have a little transmitter in like the size of a pen that is actually reaching, God, what would it be? Maybe 20,000, 30,000 feet away, maybe possibly, if not further.
And through big,
To
thick
have that
concrete
kind of,
walls.
yeah, and to have that kind of radio signal built into a small pen in 1962, it
That's some
just,
James Bond stuff right there.
yeah, I mean, I get that the person, because long story short, guys, it's the young assistant who's the actual perpetrator of the whole thing, but it just didn't match. I don't even think MacGyver could have pulled that off. You know, it just seems a little. Some of that stuff just didn't seem to fit the era. Early 1960s, to me, it just didn't fit right. And maybe that's
Yeah.
just me. You know?
Well, I mean, I thought the same thing. I didn't, because for a moment I thought, oh, did someone from the future plant that bomb? Like when I saw the bomb, I went, oh, did someone from the future plant that bomb so this would go wrong? And now Ben has to fix it. But then I remembered,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute. How are they get? You can't quantum leap objects. Like you can't bring an object from the future to the past.
You no,
You
you
know what I
can,
mean?
you can. The last episode of Quantum Leap proved it when Sam leaped his entire body with his clothes, with his wallet, his Velcro wallet with his futuristic driver's license. Remember?
Hmm.
And Sam was then leaping his entire body, moving forward, at least as far as we understood. So it is possible. Plus, when Sam Simo leaps with Al, his clothes the clothes he was wearing at the mental institute, he brought those to 1945 when he Simo leaped with Al, and Al became the leaper, and he was the observer.
Really? The clothes
Because
went with him? Huh.
Yeah, because he was wearing the hospital clothes that he had at the mental hospital. Because every other time we saw Sam in the waiting room, or at least his body, he was always wearing the Fermi suit.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Sorry,
I almost think that was just a mistake though with the old show, because like
geek it proud, geek it proud.
how would you physically move? That just seems really strange. Like
Hey, like
because
Tames.
like a pipe wouldn't have a spirit. A pipe wouldn't have a consciousness that could transport from one area to the other. You know what I mean? Like it's
Hey, Sam leaping Aaliyah with him in that one episode.
Yeah.
And besides, Thames said to Zoe, "Baby, when dealing with Quanta, anything is possible."
Yeah.
So I mean, is it a cheat? Yes, it's definitely a cheat. But you know what? It's a fun one. But I mean, it didn't. Yes, I am being one of those sticklers where yes, it just the bomb did looked too like it. It looked like it just didn't fit to me. That was my whole thing. It just didn't. It didn't look like it fit the technology for the time, because in all honesty, we didn't exactly see. There weren't. If you look at older computers, you didn't see green circuit boards. All if you go like, I've seen some old radios from the 50s taken apart, and they had more of a like a dark brown, almost mocha colored circuit board. You know, so it just didn't fit the era to me. I know I'm being a nerd, but excuse me. That was my whole thing. But we get Janice, we get her brought into the main control room, very much to the ire of Jen. Jen does not trust her, even though I think these two could be like best friends in another life. You know,
Yeah.
and I love how like even Ian was like, well, you did drugged your mother, or like you poisoned your mother. She's like, no, I didn't poison her, drugged her, but I didn't poison her. Because
Yeah.
it wasn't like she was trying to kill her. I mean, if she wanted to kill her mother, she could have. But it brings up a lot. Hey, Gary's Grails, you come in peace. Yes. Well, welcome to our world, Lord Gary from the planet Grailion. We also got who else we got in the chat? I painted after I fixed the coffee. That's why I left it on. Everyone's saying hey to Gary. So yeah, we're talking the latest episode, Quantum Leap. And I like how even Magic was like, it's on me, because Jen's having a private conversation with him at one point. Hey, it's on me. Whatever happens, with the Janice and anything else, it's on me. She's like, no, it's not. It's on all of us. Because that's the truth. I mean, yes, Magic could be removed from the project, hypothetically speaking. But also, if he is, let's say something goes wrong and he's blacklisted in the community, that means Jen, that means Ian, that means everyone else. So Jen did have a point there, but also she needs to trust in her leader, in her boss. And again, I love that Magic brought up this is a family.
Yeah.
It is a family. Is it dysfunctional? Yes, it is. But I mean, like, I thought it was a pretty good episode, but I felt more of the big story movement was Janice being brought out, Janice being put to good use. She wasn't necessarily trying to be a bitch. She was like, well, no, I'm going to stay where I am. When Magic was first talking to her, and then she kind of like gives into it. Because she realizes if Ben is going to achieve what he's supposed to achieve, she needs to do whatever she can to help him. And also, a big question was asked: is this part of the trajectory? Him leaping into different people in this one moment in time, or was this kind of just a weird fluke? But also, I thought about this: does this kind of now we've seen this season in Quantum Leap, we've seen things that we never saw before. Okay. We've seen Ben have more memory recall than Sam ever did in most of his. I mean, Sam didn't get a whole lot of his memory recall until what, season 3 or so, maybe. It's almost like his memory pathways, his memory engrams were, it took a while to reshuffle. With Ben, it's not that way. Obviously, the Quantum Leap process is refined now.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I'm getting from it. Speaking of getting things, we have the Jeopardy winner from this past week, the Cat Attack.
How you doing?
And I gotta say, it was cool seeing, because I don't really catch, I can't recall really seeing a whole lot of videos with Cat, but it was kind of cool seeing Cat live.
Yeah.
I think YouTube needs more cat live. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Uh, but we saw. I mean, there's a lot of firsts. I mean, we saw again one of my favorite scenes from this season. I know I'm harping. I know I'm repeating myself. We saw a leaper in space. We
Hmm.
saw a leaper in space. We saw, Ben has kind of gotten very comfortable with leaping pretty damn quick, which I think still is a little too quick, but it could be, it could be a little bit more chaotic at times. I really wish it would be, but I get, they kind of have to make it a certain kind of way. I mean, we've seen leapers leaping out of their lifetime on the regular. Okay, not only has Ben leaping out of his lifetime, this the yet to become Leaper X leaps into the old west along with Ben there. So I mean, the rules of quantum leap are out the window for good now.
Well,
And
I
now the
got the
fact that,
picture. He was there before Ben. Like he
yeah,
was there and did whatever he had to do,
and maybe he was staying
and
kind of low so he wouldn't interact with Ben.
right before he was going to leap, is when Ben showed up and came in there, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Why are you
Well,
following me, Ben? Stop! Don't
well,
follow me."
in that one episode, I think he laid low for a good reason. He didn't want to interfere with whatever Ben was doing because that could cause more
Yeah,
paradoxes with
maybe
the
that's it.
timeline.
Yeah,
So he wanted to wait until Ben's mission was over, and then he went over and pushed him around and say, "Hey, stop following me." But
gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, we got that. I mean, we got a lot going on. My thought was, is this a way of, you see in like some superhero shows, is this a way of Ben leveling up? That now he knows that, he maybe part of him is going to have it in his head, I can't die because if I do, I'm just going to leap into someone else's body,
Well,
or is he going to at
no,
some
that
point?
that
Uh, I'm just throwing it out there because we did see something like that happen with Sam a couple times. That he never really died, even though he should have died a couple times in a few leaps, right? But could this be also because we know that it's a completely we don't know the true depths of this program that was written for Ben to be able to leap to the future, and who knows what kind of after effects having those safeguards offline are going to have on his body. One, this could be something where maybe he, eventually if he does get to the point where he needs to save, where he saves Madison in her future, maybe he doesn't survive it. Maybe it has effects on his mind or on his body or, you know, some other unknown effects. I mean, for all we know, there's a lot of uncertainty here. Uh,
yeah.
but my question is, okay, if he's in a leap and maybe there's some really strong dire straits, he's got his adrenaline, his endorphins pumping through his body, his brain is getting flooded with all these different chemicals inside. What if like there's an intense moment and he realizes the person that he's inside he can't achieve what he's supposed to achieve, and he spontaneously leaps into another body within that same leap. Like remember the early episode when they're trying to retrieve Sam and Sam leaps out of the hitman into the Godfather type character?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, who's to say that? I mean, that's a precedent for switching a body within the same leap.
yeah.
Who's to say we don't get something like that where maybe Ben is able to jump out of one body and go into another body at some point in time? I'm not saying on a regular basis, but what if we see him
It'll
do
probably
that?
happen. Yeah, it'll
You
probably
know,
happen.
what if he does it by accident, but then realizes, well, maybe I did it once. Can I do it again? I mean, this could open up more crazy situations for writing, and I think that might be a bit fun. But I'm wondering, is this a way of maybe him tapping in? Because we know that the safeguards were taken down when he leaped. And we don't know, as a byproduct of those safeguards, maybe he has a stronger sense when he's leaping. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, and I mean, I know I'm throwing these are long shots I'm throwing out there, but I mean, who knows? We've seen some crazy stuff happen already. And of all things, I like the one. There's a scene in the episode. What was it? Who is that? Was Magic talking to Jen? About what if, because he even tells Jen that as a favor to Beth Calavici, he made it so that Janice would not be a part of the project. But
Yeah,
what
yeah.
if, imagine a timeline, if Janice was a part of the project? Would Ben have still gone to her and not the rest
Well,
of the group? I mean, there's a
well,
lot of
no, he would have Ben. The problem there is that then Ben would have had to find somebody else,
yeah,
a different person,
but
because
I like
what it sounds like, the reason that Janice is not telling Magic or Jan or anyone on the project like what the future person said is
foreknowledge.
because someone, like, I don't even think Ben knows. I don't think Ben, and I don't think, and obviously Janice doesn't know.
Yeah,
All the future person said was someone on the project can't be trusted. Some one individual on the project is there to betray you and going to cause a problem. You know what I mean? And whether
yeah,
that, we don't know if that problem is directly or indirectly causes Addison's death. But so Janice can't tell Magic or Jen or Addison what the future person said, because Janice doesn't know which person on the project was the
yeah,
problem, was the mole, in a sense, the one who's going to do something bad that can't be trusted. So if Janice were on the team when Ben got that message, because Ben got the message and he must have told Janice because Janice was not on the team. You know what I mean? Ben got a message saying someone on the team is going to betray you, can't be trusted. So if you can't trust anybody on the team, who do you go to? If you're Ben, you go to Janice. But if Janice was already on the team and Ben got a message that
yeah,
someone on the team's going to betray you, he wouldn't go to Janice anymore because
yeah.
Janice is on the team, meaning she could be the one that you
No,
can't
but
trust.
I liked
You know?
what I liked about that was, and hey, Ways the Sith and Mr. B, thanks for popping through. We're
Hey
doing a little
guys,
Quantum Leap chat right now. I like that, not necessarily the words that were being used, but I liked how Magic was conveying to Jen she could have been a part of this team the entire time.
yeah,
She's not necessarily a bad person. She was just put into a bad situation,
yeah.
you know? So I like that whole thought of it. Um, and I mean, honestly, um, going back to the person in the future, who now let me ask you this: at this point in time, 11 episodes in, if you had to pick one person on the team who you think is the person to not be trusted,
See, it's still difficult for me because the
I'm going to
way
say
that,
it's Addison. I think she does something that puts her life at jeopardy, but Ben can't live knowing that she is killed. We still don't know how she's killed. Maybe she
yeah,
sacrifices herself. We don't know. But that's what I'm going to throw out. I'm going to throw out that it's her.
it probably it would probably make sense that it is her. The only problem with that is that in the original timeline, before Ben got the message that someone can't be trusted,
Yeah,
she would have been the one that leapt. She was the one that was going to leap, and Ben was going to stay behind and be the person talking
yeah,
to her. But the person from the future came back and told Ben something that changed that future now. So
yeah.
instead
I
of
mean,
Addison leaping, Ben leapt. So you almost have to think that, like, in the original timeline where Addison leapt, she ended up coming back and being not stuck
Well,
not stuck leaping. She
we-
actually returned, and
well,
then
see,
something happened to her, and
with
she
that
either
though, there's no guarantee that she would be leaping. I know she was supposed to be a leaper, just like with astronauts. You have your main astronauts, but then you have a B team who are training alongside with them because if one of them falls out, you have an alternate, right?
yeah
So who's to say that Addison, even in the original timeline, that she even became a leaper? For all we know, she could have, she could have been in a car accident, which would have prevented. Maybe she had certain broken bones and a bad injury, or maybe she had an aneurysm or some kind of health issue that came up later in the future that would prevent her from being a leaper. So by Ben becoming a leaper, that didn't exactly alter her timeline because maybe she never became a leaper to begin with, even though she was slated to be one. I mean, there's a lot of what ifs. I mean,
yeah
it's all causality, and we could sit here and debate this for 5 hours. We're not, but we could. But I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty. And of course, I mean, it's like, okay, now that Ben knows, that foreknowledge alone, even without him leaping yet, that foreknowledge alone creates a whole series of causalities and a cause and effect, and is creating its own separate timeline. And as I view it, every leap forward is creating a separate timeline. As far as I see it, every time he's leaping, just like at the project, they're piecing together little breadcrumbs, little by little by little. That also has to cause changes in time as well.
yeah yeah
So I mean, by the time Ben gets to his destination, that destination, I think we said this a couple months ago, the destination can keep changing. It might be he fixes one situation, and then she's going to die in another situation, or maybe it's Ian, or maybe it's magic. I mean, there's a lot of things that can keep happening and keep Ben leaping forever, or
yeah
at least until season 5 and NBC cancels it, and then another 25 years later, we get another reboot. Who knows? But I mean, it's
what I have a question of is like how many times, like I'm having a hard time remembering. I know that there was a couple of instances where Sam saved one or two people, like actually saved their life, like they were
uh-huh.
supposed to die and he saved their life.
Oh,
But it
tons.
doesn't
There's tons
it
of
doesn't
times.
it seems like from my memory that most of the time Sam made somebody's life better. Not
Yes.
that not that he directly, like you could argue, oh, he saved that guy's life because he got him
Yeah,
off drugs,
or like
or
Sammy
like with
Joe. She was writing computer manuals in a trailer park, and then she wound up actually working at Project Quantum Leap. A lot of times, yeah, he didn't like
where
every week. He wasn't exactly like saving their physical life. He was making their lives better. He
yeah,
was, and
where
the thing was
this with Ben, he directly saved, like
the space
in the
shuttle crew.
yeah, he saved all their lives. He saved
Yep,
in the last episode, he saved three or four people's life in the hospital, and
yep.
now he's saved like five people's life. You know what I mean? Like
Our,
there's
we
now
can
like
argue more. We can
20
argue more.
some there's now 20 some people that are alive in the
No, no,
timeline that
no, a
weren't
lot
there
more. A
before.
lot more. Because let's take it back to the hospital episode.
Oh yeah, that too. He
That
stopped that drug.
hospital
Yeah.
stopping the drug to
Saved a
not
million
only,
people
if
or
one
more.
hospital does that, other hospitals follow suit. We
Yeah.
could be talking thousands upon
They
thousands of
said it.
people that were
She said
saved.
it. No, she said over a million people.
Yeah,
She said it
over a
in that
million.
episode. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a larger number than Sam has ever done.
That's what I'm getting
But,
at. Like,
but
so any of those people that are now alive could have completely and totally like changed
oh
how
yes.
you know what I mean? Like they could have
Well, I
invented the
mean,
floating
it's
car. They could have like solved the
floating car. Uh,
unified field theory or something. You know what I
hey,
mean? Like
but but see that was the big thing about Quantum Leap, and we didn't. A lot of us didn't realize it until the absolute last episode of Quantum Leap, because Sam was trying to help this person here. Al, the bartender, says to him, he says, you've done a lot of good, Sam Beckett. What? I've saved a few people. Oh, well, I'm dealing with Mother Teresa here. Sam, you've saved people. You've touched their lives. Those people have gone on to touch other people's lives, and they've gone on to touch other people's lives. You've done a lot of good, Sam Beckett, and that's the thing. That for a lot of fans, they didn't realize. Wait a minute, Jesus, yeah. For 5 years, he was leaping around through time, and he saved people, and the good that he put in that person's life, those people pushed it forward. I mean, like, look at the All American episode, the Vegas. They did a chain of food trucks, you know,
Yeah.
or like, I mean, Jesse in segregation in the '60s in the South, you know, there were times when he pushed, as Sam, as that person, pushed the envelope to show people you don't have to think this way. To show, I mean, he even leaped into the KKK once.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
he leaped into so many situations, and honestly, in a way, I kind of wish that they would touch on a lot of not necessarily those same subjects, but on a lot of the same themes, parallel to our contemporary times. There's still a lot that they can do. Um, but like, I mean, like, maybe with and this is just me, this is just my personal mind, like, what if Ben leaps into an episode where he's dealing with hospice care, bringing, showing people, that, it's not like, was it Robin Williams said it in Patch Adams, it's not, it's not, a yes or no, or it's not, you save a life or you don't save a life. It's about improving the quality of life. There's a
Mhm.
lot of things out there that I really hope that they kind of touch base on, but not lose, not lose the motivation of the core mission statement of the series itself. But that was one of the great things about Quantum Leap, and I think that's why a lot of us remember and love the original Quantum Leap. Was we had a guy that was leaping through time. It didn't matter if he leaped into a woman, a man, a chimpanzee, a Vietnam vet who lost his legs. Every person he leaped into, he made a hell of a difference. And he showed us you don't have to have superpowers to make a difference. He didn't have superpowers. He was just a guy who, was leaping through time. They honestly wanted to make things better. I mean, I think that's one element we're kind of missing. Yes, Ben does want to do good, but also, I don't know, maybe it was Scott Bakula in the role. There was sincerity behind Sam.
Yeah.
You know, you felt with Sam, you know, like when he leaped home, trying to make things better for his father. We haven't really had anything like that. We gotten close with Ben trying to call his mother that one episode,
Hmm.
or Ben thinking about his mother. I mean, we've had some of that, but I think Janice is going to be a pivotal. I think moving forward, she's going to show that she is a pivotal force on the show. That she's going to help make things better. But I think like her and Addison, whenever, I mean, we have to wait until next week to find out who this person is, because I'm sure that's when Addison is going to hear the words from Janice's mouth,
Hmm.
and maybe Janice and Addison are kind of working on their own little thing in addition to helping Ben. I still think we're going to get a situation where something happens with Addison, and we're going to get Janice in the imaging chamber.
Well, I thought I fully expected them to do that this episode because
Oh, I was hoping for it.
I because in the last one she said the only person she told Addison the only person she really can talk to about this is to talk to Ben. And
Yeah,
she said she actually didn't she say I want to talk to Ben? And the only way
yeah,
she could really talk to Ben is if she got in the imaging chamber
yeah.
and showed up.
And
So
obviously,
I fully expected to see that this episode, but
yeah.
it might have to wait till next episode before that
And see,
happens. But
that's another thing. Remember in the old show, Al Al was the only one really compatible with Sam's mesons and neurons, and that doesn't seem to have to be the case now, because we saw Janice project herself in her makeshift imaging chamber, you know. And I mean, what happened with that? Did the project dismantle it? Do they have their hands on it? I mean, if Magic is smart, he would be smart and stow that away somewhere as a nice little backup on a really dark day. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Uh, but I mean that's another thing. I mean, anyone could really step into the chamber. I wouldn't mind seeing a. I mean, there's a lot of people online who say they want Ian as the observer.
Oh yeah.
And I could kind of see that because Ian's got kind of a smart mouth at times, but he's also, Ian is a genius. But also his fashion sense. I mean, kind of harks to some of Al's
Yeah.
wardrobe
Yeah.
choices. Back in the day. I think I think a lot of fans will like that. But here's the thing that I never clicked in my head until this episode: the accelerator is consistently running. I never realized that the accelerator is constantly running. I mean, I remember they fired the accelerator so Sam could leap, even when they did the Simo leap so he could come back as a leaper. And they put young Al Bingo in the accelerator to shoot him back to a certain date and time. But it never clicked in my head that the chamber had to be that the accelerator had to be consistently running in order for the leaps to happen. Because I mean, we know that Sam is lost somewhere in time, but does that mean Sam was stuck in some year for like 30 years until now? Because there's an accelerator running? I mean, there
Yeah, that we come to think of it, you're
there's
right. Because
yeah.
if they shut down the project and Sam, yeah, like that's like if Sam is still out there, does that mean that his
What,
original
he was
project
stranded somewhere? Or
does what
or
what I'm saying
because
is, does
yeah.
that mean that his original project is still running and his body is laying there in the original project still running? Like
Yeah, was it
his accelerator is still going.
well, I mean, to argue that, I mean, his body did leap. He was in his body at the end of the very last episode, so his body's not stuck somewhere. But now that he wasn't tethered to the project, I mean, it just doesn't add up that shutting the accelerator down would prevent Ben from leaping, though. I always saw, okay, my at least how I viewed it was when Sam stepped into the accelerator and he vanished, that he was on this endless journey, you know. And it wasn't like Ziggy is controlling his leaps back then. They were aimless. It was a roulette wheel, it was a
Yeah, yeah,
chance.
yeah.
It was throwing a dart at a spinning dartboard. You don't know where you're going to end or when or as who. And it's kind of, I thought that was the same concept here, but it seems like, you know, obviously how they run the project is much different. I mean, did they improve upon it? And I mean, what if there's a cascade,
Well,
a cascading power failure to the entire project? All their secondaries and backups are completely dead. Does that mean Ben is going to be stranded at some point in time? See, there's a lot that we don't know about the current science of quantum leap. We know that they threw all the old rules out the window, but there's a lot we don't know about that yet. You
well,
know?
the new program that he put in
Yeah.
is what changed it. Like, so I think that was given to him by someone in the future, and that program
Sam Beckett.
actually mapped a trajectory, which we was saying
Yeah.
was that loop around that was sending him. You know what I mean? It was almost like a spiral written on that screen. So
Have a great night, Kat.
that I think is the difference. I think that they seem like random people that he's
Yeah.
jumping into, but
But it
because
may
of
may
that,
not be random.
we saw that spiral
Yeah.
map
Yeah.
that the program clearly has a plan for.
Or at least the dates are programmed. Maybe not the people, but at least the
Yeah,
dates
that's what
are.
I mean. There could
And
be some slight random element to it, but it has a trajectory that it's trying
yeah.
to get him to.
And
So
I gotta
that's
say
the
now
difference.
it's a party. We got Linda in the house.
Hey, Linda.
It feels like it feels like a Papa Gore chat now. We had Kat, we had Mr. B, Linda now. Now we just need David, but he's probably in the bathtub. That's a private joke. But I mean, it begs the question about the chamber. Like Jen's like, well, why don't we just shut down the chamber or shut down the accelerator? I mean, that's just like, it just makes me, oh God. Or where do you say it? LeBron put like evil Barry from the future. That's a Flash joke.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's who knows? I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, was this? I mean, did it feel kind of like a filler episode? Kind of, but I'm hoping the next one it kind of cranks up the dial a little bit because I mean we're going into February now. They're probably going to take a break maybe around Easter. Because what we got we're in episode 11. We have what 20 episodes this year, so we have another 9 episodes. I could see them. They're probably going to take a break around maybe March Madness, maybe March. We'll get a break, and then maybe they'll finish up around April or so. I'm guessing. What do you think? Probably end of April.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm sure they don't want to compete with March Madness. Monday Night Football is a wrap, but they still have to contend with wrestling on Monday nights. Now, do you think that they should have a new time slot next fall?
Well, I mean, if people do watch live television, a show like this, if there are some that still do, then yeah, it needs a better time slot. But I personally don't know a single person, other than maybe you, Dave, that tries to watch it when it's actually on. You know,
I'm watching it live for the sheer fact that one, I can't guarantee I'll have time to watch it on Tuesday before the stream. For one, two, it was just something like when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I watched Quantum Leap. I would watch it on NBC. I would watch it with my mom. And it's part of me. I have to watch it live. Part of me is like I want to watch it live, and it's part of the nostalgia thing. Let's face it. I mean, even years later, you catch a movie that you're a family friend or a family member who's not here anymore. They're like if Death Wish is on, the original Death Wish with Charles Bronson, I'm going to watch it because my grandfather used to love him.
Yeah.
Was it always my thing? No, not necessarily, but it was something my grandfather loved to do. Or going to a baseball game, like I got to get a fresh pretzel. You got to get a hot pretzel with only mustard on it. It's those little things. Hey, Dennis.
Hey,
got Dennis hanging out. Linda, it's on the Peacock network. So if you have Peacock down there, because I think Linda's in Australia, is that right?
They also have it on the NBC app. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I know different countries have different streaming stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
some other countries get it on a Sky service or on
Sky One over in the UK. Because I think
then
Sky just started getting Quantum Leap. I think in December, maybe. I think I heard.
And some
they're a couple months behind
Hulu.
us.
Some people get it on Hulu too, but in different countries. So,
okay, Dennis, this is what you do: go ahead and leap right now. Watch the show and then leap back. Okay. And please, guys, don't forget if you know anyone who's a Quantum Leap fan, or even on Facebook, if you're a part of a Quantum Leap fan group that allows to share links, please feel free to share this. Every time there's a new Quantum Leap episode, Super John, me, and also our part-time leaper who's at his son Killer Mike's game, Wolfpack Tour Review. The three of us, we are going to review these at any time we can. LeBron says he's in Georgia. And is it always on your mind?
Yeah,
I had to go there. I only leap to the future. Well, if you only leap to the future, how do you come back here? Just saying.
He's just constantly leaping to the future, but only in about little, like 3-second chunks.
I want Christopher Lloyd to make an appearance on Quantum Leap. That's all I want. Okay. And I was in a friendly argument with someone yesterday about this, about the likelihood of Christopher Reeve popping up on Quantum Leap. I was like, why not? He appeared in 12 Monkeys in several episodes. He is all for doing anything. I mean, he's still doing movies now at his age.
Well, he's in the Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's everywhere, you know. And I just think it would be awesome just to have him, like, especially if he was like just playing just a crazy scientist, like a Mo Stein type. I think it would be fun. Dennis says hello to all, of course. Oh, go back and say I went to full screen mode all of a sudden.
The nightmares.
That's a secret. But so I mean, we had let's see what else went on. We had, of course, Janice. By the way, come on, get rid of the damn Siri. Get rid of the damn little Cortana style hand link. I mean, she had the the old prototype hand link. Give Addison the old hand link back. Come on. You know what? If Janice goes into the chamber, I want her to have the OG hand link. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Speaking of the hand link, I was rewatching Flash, the CW Flash. There's an episode where one of the I don't know if you watch it, but one of the all other Wells, that there's a Harrison Wells from each dimension that and there's the one Nash Wells who's kind of like an Indiana Jones type. He's got a little hand device, right? He whacks it, and we hear the hand link sound.
That's so funny.
Even the creators behind Flash are fans of Quantum Leap. I mean, come on, we all are.
Yeah.
But guys, please share this. Put this on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Mastodon. That's a new social media thing that's out there now. Have you heard of it, John?
Oh, I'm already on it. Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I've been on it for. I think we've been on it for like 6 months. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I just joined it because I've been hanging out with Chris Perillo.
Yeah,
on some of his he's got this what's it called, Locker Gnome. If you guys ever went on Twitch and you saw like multiple streams going on at one time on one person's channel, he's doing the same thing on YouTube. So people can stream putting models together or 3D printing or playing video games with no sound. So you can have a channel with all these multiple channels going on at the same time. He's on Mastodon, so I figure out I'll throw myself on another social media network and see if we can grow the brand with it.
The problem I've been having with it the last month is originally when I was 6 months ago up to about a month ago, I could post video and images and my links to the YouTube shows, like YouTube videos and stuff.
Yep.
But the last month, none of that's been working. It'll only post text. It won't post pictures. It won't post video. Well, and I've reset it. I've deleted it, reloaded it. It's like, so for me, it's like Mastodon stopped working. So.
Interesting, Mr. Bond. Okay, so because I posted some links on it a couple days ago when I first went on. Let me see if it's still there. It's because I didn't share a link to my channel. I shared a link to Colbane's, and the link is still there actually. So maybe I'm not picked up on the radar yet.
It really messes up when you do images or video now. Like it, for some reason, it won't post. I don't know why. It'll only post text for me.
Yeah, here we go. See? It shows it right there, and this was posted 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for me, it'll only post text. I won't get any images. I don't know why it won't do it.
It took the link in there, so I don't know. Maybe it's something else going on. I don't know.
Yeah, And I've deleted it, reloaded the app. I've done all kinds
Okay.
of things.
Well,
Everything they say, and it won't work.
this is right off the
Yeah.
desktop that I'm doing it on. I'm
Yeah.
doing it on Chrome, so I don't know if it's to certain browsers, but we'll see what happens.
I like the platform, so it's kind of that's what it. It
Yeah,
bothers me that
I think Dude is on here too.
yeah, dude joined when I joined. Yeah.
No, we get it streamed on 7 Plus. So that you must have a thing called 7 Plus then. Okay.
And what's the other one? Oh, Counter Social. I've been on that one too for a
Okay.
while.
Counter Social, what is that?
It's another Twitter like social media thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's for
a lot-
it's for people who are supposedly it's for people who are more artistic and creative, because it's not, they don't want like the bitching and complaining that Twitter
so
has. You know what I
it's
mean?
more like it's kind
That's
of
why
like
it's called Counter Social, because it's
so
counter
it's
to the normal social media. It's supposed to be
so
more
it's
for
kind of like if you took Twitter and Instagram and just smashed them together, because you say it's more creatives, like more
yeah,
art and videos,
yeah,
so it's more creation, like without the the political BS, so to speak.
exactly. Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. Maybe I'll look into that as well. But I mean,
It doesn't
it's
hurt. I mean, my
yeah.
opinion is if you're doing something creative like putting on a YouTube channel or anything else, the more social media sites you post it on and get the awareness out there, the better, you know? So it doesn't take that long to just stick your link on something and hit post, you know?
LeBron says he had a hand link last night. It's a family show. Well, no, not really a family show. Anybody have a Roku pin for NBC? Well, I know you have to have a pin for Roku. I didn't know if there's a pin for the NBC app itself. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But yeah. And by the way, speaking of social media, guys, please don't forget to share Dave's Dimension with all your friends and family. Anyone who's into sci-fi, technology, and toy collecting. We're on the road to 1,000. We're 23 away.
Oh, that's so close.
No, it's freaking scary.
You'll
The
have that by
past
the end of the month.
dude. Well, today's the end of the month, John.
Well, all right, February then.
The end of next month, right?
Yeah.
No, the past 2 months, like I've been growing like there's no tomorrow. Last May, when I did the stream for the Cure, I had 500. That was around 500 subscribers back then. So the fact that I'm almost double that in like
6
under a
months,
year,
7 months.
it's
Yeah.
freaking scary, man. It's like people actually like me for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah. By the way, yeah, that's gonna be another thing, guys. Even though I know this is the leap for the LEAP-CAST, but I will be doing officially. I will be doing the Ride for Roswell again this year, and we will be looking for co-hosts for the stream for the Cure, which is going to take place probably around maybe end of April, maybe early mid-May. So it's going to be an open stream for anyone and everyone. We are going to be doing the mystery wheels again. I cannot promise a hot toy this year. I'm sorry, guys, but we got plenty of other prizes that are going to be coming through the pipeline. All you have to do is just donate to the Ride for Roswell. I'm going to have links for the future streams coming up very soon. And your boy here is, well, I'm an idiot. I signed up for 44 miles this year, so I'm going to be doing a lot of training. We got a lot of stuff coming through the pipeline, and stay tuned for that. But guys, please, as always, just share the stream out. The more people we can involve, and plus, you guys know you're always invited to the if you want to discuss. Anyone and everyone's always invited to hop on to LEAP-CAST. And who knows, maybe we'll do some retrospectives of past seasons of Quantum Leap, or is there someone you would want Ben to leap into that maybe Sam leaped into in the past? I want to see what other stuff we can do about that. Now, John, would you want Ben to leap into anyone that Sam has already leaped into?
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I think it would be interesting, since Magic is involved in the current project. It might be interesting to go back and revisit some period in Magic's life but
What
through a
if Ben?
different perspective. You know what I
What
mean?
if Ben leaped into magic
Well,
after
I don't
Magic
know.
comes back? After Magic comes back from Nam, and he's trying to reacclimate to life after war, and maybe he leaps
What I
into a
think would be more interesting is if he leapt into somebody else in Magic's life and had to help Magic through the issues of dealing with coming back to reality after, and then Magic goes like he'll figure it out during the episode and be like, wait a minute, are you a leaper? Is this Sam? And then he's like, Ben, I don't know a Ben. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well,
it would
what
be
if
interesting if he figured it out.
okay? Here's one. What if he leaps into Tom Beckett, and it's Tom after the war, and he's talking to a young Sam. Ben leaps into Tom. He meets a young Sam Beckett. Okay, maybe on break from MIT, like a spring break or something, right? And Tom is also trying to help Magic. So Magic steps in as to be the holographic observer for that one episode.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things could happen. Yeah, but
NBC, do you hear us? NBC, do you hear us? We have ideas. Come on.
The other one,
we'll take vacation from our jobs. We'll write a few episodes for you guys. Come
the
on,
other
we'll
interesting thing would be like the ones that I always enjoyed. I really liked Jimmy and his brother and the family. I just thought that there was a lot of endearing things to that whole.
They could do,
and the fact that he did it twice
on autism. They could do episodes on autism, on functional autism. I mean, it's called a spectrum for a reason. I mean, you could do a lot of different things with that. I mean, or what if they did an episode about people, maybe someone who, a family that has fear about COVID. And you have half the family is pro getting the vaccine, the other half doesn't. I mean, there's a lot of different things you guys can do. Hey, Salvatore.
Hey, Salvatore. Well, the unfortunate thing about today's television is that I think a lot of writers, it might not be the writers, but I think it's producers and stuff. There is a fear about writing television right now where if you write the wrong thing,
they're worried about getting
canceled. If you get too political or too one-sided, like left or right or whatever, they destroy you on social media. They rip it apart to the point where your show gets canceled. So you can't really do what the shows did in the 80s and even what they did in the 90s where they were going back.
I mean,
quite often the original, like you said, quite often the original Quantum Leap would go back and tackle issues like civil rights and stuff like that. Well, you're never going to see that.
You had today. You had a Caucasian person playing an elderly black man in the South during segregation, or you had Sam in the KKK, Sam as like with Jimmy LaMotta, someone with Down syndrome. We had him representing everyone. Now, this day and age, if you had a white person leaping into a black person trying to show certain values or show certain themes, odds are let's be perfectly honest, putting all the cards out on the table, you would be canceled in a New York minute.
You'd get destroyed on social media. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But the thing is, you can't go back and tackle civil rights issues in today's television.
Scott Bakula, Deborah Pratt, Don Belisario, Dean Stockwell, and the original writers of the show, they did an amazing job. But I think because Scott, you didn't see a white man as Scott necessarily. I mean, he was able to play everyone, and he showcased it in the episode Shock Theater when all the past personalities of the people he leaped into, boom. He wasn't doing like caricatures of them. He really was doing the voices. I mean, he should have won a ton of Emmys for what he did with that show. But we'll never get that again. Let's be honest. And like you said, the landscape of television is so crazy. It's not even funny. Yeah, Sal's repping Nerd Affiliated. Hey Archer, want to thank you for stopping by, showing some love for the show. They would be blew off TV in a heartbeat. They would. I mean, that's like John said. I mean, it's a fear. If you say one thing, you're being damned. And that's the sad truth. Not just in scripted shows, but even in talk shows. Was it the Talking Dead? Chris Hardwick. He was removed from the show for several months because there was a sexual accusation against him, which was proven to be false, and he was vindicated and restored to the show later on. But all it takes is one person to feel a certain kind of way, and they can ruin someone's career practically. It's great that he came back from that, and that he was vindicated and proven that it was all false. But I mean, that's the thing you get nowadays. You get one person who doesn't like what's going on. They get other people to hate on it. And let's be honest, John, you and I, we see everyone in this chat. You see it on YouTube. There's so many videos and channels that is their core. That's their mission statement, is to bring everyone down. There are people who've built empires they've been monetized. They have 20,000, 50,000 viewers, 50,000 subscribers, and all they do is they hate on the news, and they hate on every single thing.
Well, are there times that millions? Some of them have millions.
Yeah. I mean, are there times that, I'll be honest, full disclosure, have I done some salty videos before? Yeah, I've talked about Hasbro. I'll be honest, I talked about it. Not as much as a certain friend of ours who likes to do rant videos. But I mean, we all get salty about certain things, but it's about not being that way all the time. I mean, I try to be positive about my channel. I recently had a negative, let's just say I had someone come at me in a negative way recently, and I'm not going to feel their hate or their point of views. So what I did, I simply blocked that person. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to argue with people. Life is too damn short. Okay? Life is too damn short. So, I mean, it's a sad statement. And even today, I kind of saw something today. I saw something today that made me really want to do. Hey, Dave, I'm sorry I was late on sport. No, Captain, you don't ever have to apologize, man. It's all good. There's too many streams going on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, so you're perfectly fine. And besides, Darth Blaze, hey, you got to blaze it up for our brother Darth.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some amazing game streams going on. And let's catch up here. We got Steve, Anthony, and I joke around about Ezra Miller. Oh, don't get me started about Ezra. He who cannot be canceled, definitely. Hold on one moment, John. You go ahead and take over for a minute, okay?
Sure. Where you going? Hey guys, how you doing? Hope everything's well. What I'm very interested in about Quantum Leap, though, is I want to know. I can't wait to know the name of who the person is. There's Rolando. Hey, Rolando.
So my wife wanted to say that she's been hating on the mouse that sabotaged our dishwasher.
There you go. Yeah.
Because she heard us talking about, like, how some people are hating on certain things. We had this crazy thing in our apartment building. We had an issue where there's a small mouse that got into our apartment through the pipes where the dishwasher pipes come through, because we're a second floor. And we thought that maintenance people sealed it up completely, but no, a small mouse got through, chewed on the electrical wiring, and zapped itself, fried itself to death, but also took out our dishwasher at the same time. She wanted to add that. Yeah, I don't get me started about Ezra Miller. That's a different stream. Maybe we'll have that stream soon. I don't know. Maybe we will. We'll have that, because I know there's DC is supposed to be revealing some new figures about the Flash movie very soon, featuring Dark Flash. We're not going to get Reverse Flash in that movie, but they're going to have Dark Flash, which is going to be interesting, because to me, this is the only Dark Flash I want right now.
Yeah.
The best. But
I'm looking forward to the Spin Master stuff. I liked that 89 Batmobile that Spin Master's doing. That thing looks awesome.
I gotta take a breath because I've seen pictures, and I'm like, man, don't I don't exactly know where I can. I mean, I got room, but I've been getting a lot of stuff lately, and I have something really massive. We're talking big coming Thursday, so I gotta figure out some room. Plus, I need to figure out. I got plenty to keep videos going for like another month or two, maybe 3 months. But I got to put some money aside because I got to get tune up for the bicycle. Plus, uh, Uncle Sam decided to take a lot of my tax refund this year. So I got to set some money aside for later this year. So we'll see what happens.
Well, didn't you do a Schedule C? I mean, you've got a microphone in front of you. You pay for. Do you pay for any of these streaming services like the
No,
Restream or
no,
StreamYard or anything?
this is free.
You're
Yeah,
using all the free ones. Okay.
I'm doing all the free stuff. I do pay for or one to share Filmora, which is what I use for when I'm recording my videos. Because when I record my videos, I upscale them.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
though I'm not.
what I'm saying is whether you make money off it or not, you can make $0, but because you
Yeah.
are doing YouTube, it's considered, even if you make $0 on it, it's considered YouTube is a legit company and you work as an affiliate of theirs and it's under the royalties clause. You can actually, for 7 years, any of the equipment you use can be put on a Schedule C. And you can you'll basically get a percentage of what that's valued at, and you'll get a more of a return back. And you can put, if you're paying for StreamYard, if you're paying for any of your streaming services, if you're paying for a website, if you're paying for, working on editing your videos, any of the equipment, including the computer, the chair you're sitting on, the desk you're at, all that stuff you can claim for 7 years from when you started doing the YouTube. So there's my uncle helped me get like about $480 extra on my tax return.
And next week we have tax tips with Super Awesome.
Yeah,
I did
you
not
can
know that.
claim just about everything, and it doesn't matter if you made money off it or not. Yeah,
That is interesting. That's a nice angle right there, man. Jeez. I'm gonna have to talk with Mrs. Dimension about that. Fortunately, the computer I'm using right now I did not pay for, or two of the monitors I got from my brother, but I did not know that. I'm gonna start like the next time I get a desk or anything, I'm gonna save the receipts on that. Jeez,
yeah.
nice. And I will be hitting you up for tax advice. Yeah, there was a well. Here's the thing. We had a past couple of years we had nice comfortable tax returns. This year we're not getting anything back from federal because they changed a lot of the laws for middle class married couples without children. So what we would normally get, I'm not going to put any numbers out there, but it's sad to say, normally we would be very comfortable. I mean, last year we both got ourselves new bicycles that were not cheap. Let's just say. This year, yeah, nothing's coming our way. So it's just, yeah, it sucks. Hopefully next year things will balance out a little bit better. Fingers crossed. We'll just see what happens. I was hoping me and Mrs. Dimension were hoping to do a nice little vacation somewhere because we've never been able to do a decent vacation. But there's always next year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll hit the lottery.
Well, I won $6 in our lottery. My dad bought a lottery ticket for my birthday.
I want to
see. I want to
hit. I want to hit the lottery. One day I hope I can dream of being at least a 10th of this guy right here. These sleeping collectibles, the man, the myth, the spokesmodel. He was posting some little like, hey baby, hey photos earlier. And sleeping did you sign what is it, Sami Zayn? He was I saw he was holding up that sleeping collectibles shirt right there. and yes, I watched my first wrestling pay-per-view in years this past weekend. Haven't watched one in years. I decided to watch it. It wasn't the greatest, but could have been worse. Oh, we got Rolando. Anthony S.
Yeah, yeah. Anthony, good to see you.
Everyone's popping in. Found a number 11 on my Roku. Had to call daughter where it was.
It's there, yeah.
So, Rolando, how are you feeling? I know you had the cataract surgery last week. Wow, did everyone watch the tumble except me? I think you meant the rumble, but yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched it. I watched it live with it wasn't T3, it was EC, Dre, Sue's Geek Vault. It was us and oh god, how am I blanking on oh god, I'm blanking on Joe. Joe from F and Figures. Him and EC host F and Figures every week. In fact, they have like 4 streams this week, so they got a lot going on this week. But yeah, Quantum Leap. I mean, it. Did this episode feel like a little bit of a snore? It didn't feel like anything exciting, nothing to really write home about. But it wasn't the worst episode yet. There's just a few things I'm hoping we see coming in the future. So, John, what do you want to see coming up in the next, let's say, 5 episodes? If you had to pick 3 things you want to see happen in the next 5 episodes, hit us with it
Well,
right now.
I think it would be interesting. I mean, Janice going in the chamber and talking to Ben, so that I guess it would be interesting to me because I think that way the audience could get more clues as to what's going on if we see Janice and Ben
Yeah.
actually talking. And then, but yet everybody who's at the Quantum Leap project would still be in the dark in a sense, because
Yeah.
they might not necessarily know what Janice and Ben were talking about. You know what I mean? So I think that would be a really interesting thing because I want to know more about like what is happening, what did happen in the future that made Ben go to Janice. You know what I mean? And I'd rather
Well,
see it happen in a way that didn't make the Quantum Leap project sort of fall apart. Where if Janice comes out and says, "Well, it's because Addison's a traitor and she's going to betray the group," well, now you're going to see the Quantum Leap group fall apart. You know what I mean? Because they're
yeah.
all going to want to take sides, and it's like I think that would be very disruptive to the show. Where if you just have Janice go in the machine and talk to Ben, we could get answers as the audience without the show kind of being disrupted in a sense, and then let it keep going naturally to
Now,
where.
if they brought her, if they allowed her to go into the chamber, now who's to say she hasn't been doing a little keystroke here, keystroke there, so when she goes in there, maybe they can't hear her.
That's what I mean. They can't
Yeah.
tell. They don't know what she's going to say. Yeah,
But
they
if they
can't
do,
hear.
I
Yeah.
don't want this as her hand link. Okay, I want a proper hand link. And John, come on, John, your access to Legos. Come on, make a Lego hand link. Come on, I know there's got to be someone who's done that.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
got to be
sure it's out
someone
there.
who's
Yeah,
done that.
yeah,
And then we you tell us what color pieces we need for the clear translucent pieces. I'll go to the Lego store. We'll buy them. We'll do a special build on here. I swear to God.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
tempt me.
Well, I'll look
No,
into that. I'll look
I'm
into that.
I'm
And then
dead serious.
I'll look into it. I'll look into it. Then secondly, um, I think we're gonna know next episode, but I'm really curious about the name drop. And I actually don't think it is going to be Sam Beckett. I think it's going to be somebody else, and I'm
It's
I'm
it's
gonna I'm
it's
gonna
Professor
wonder
Lenegro.
I'm gonna wonder if like they're gonna drop the name, but I'm actually gonna think that like the writers almost expect everyone who's a Quantum Leap fan to know exactly who they're talking about. But I have a feeling half the people are going to be like, "Who? What? Who is this? And why are they important?" So, and everyone's going to have to look them up, and there's going to be 1,000 videos on who is blah blah blah, and then they're going to be
It's the
explaining who that person
grandson
is.
of Mo Stein.
And
Captain
then so
Galaxy's grandson grew up and he built his own time machine based on his grandfather's plans.
But I think we'll
Why
get that
not?
next episode. I think we'll get that next episode. But then the third thing would be, yes, definitely some
Ben leaps into
reference.
Super Awesome Geek Show.
I would like some reference, or if not actually, if he doesn't actually appear on the show, I would like some
Sam.
reference to Sam Beckett. Yeah, but I don't
I mean,
think it's going to be like. I don't think they're going to try to be as convoluted as a thing where like Sam went back to like showed up and warned Ben that Addison's going to die and someone's going to betray the group in his quantum leap thing. Like, I don't think they would involve Sam in this whole plot. Like, I just have a feeling that it's going to be something tertiary that, like, because I can't imagine, like, them wanting to write, like, Scott Bakula's character into something integral to this story where he might have to appear in like 15 episodes, let's say, where I think it would be more natural if it's like a one-off thing where Sam shows up in a one-off thing and then down the road he might show up again. You know what I mean?
My response to that, okay, is this. One, I hope they don't necessarily cheat it. Like, what if like someone at that project is walking by and you hear them say, "Oh boy," a certain kind of way, Magic turns around. Or what if like Magic is not acting like himself and it just so happens that it's actually Sam in Magic for a second time? I hope it's not necessarily anything like that. What I really would like is if they did something, I want it to be something like where Magic is outside the project, or maybe Addison is outside the project, and Sam walks up to her and just gives her like a quick little piece of advice or some kind of encouragement in regards to Ben, or some kind of warning for Ben, and then he's gone. Just, it doesn't have to be anything really drawn out or convoluted, but don't cheat us by like we don't ever see Scott Bakula at all. Don't cheat us like that, but just kind of like show us. I mean, you don't have to like de-age him or anything like that. You don't have to do anything like that. Just have Scott as it is.
Dennis has an interesting thing which I didn't think about. Why did they pan down to show Addison's reflection in the table? He says, could Addison be another leaper because of the reflection on the table? Why did they pan down?
It wasn't you, but Wolfpack mentioned this on the last stream that we did.
Yeah.
Several weeks back, Wolfpack mentioned like how they panned down that was it really Addison? I mean, there's a lot of speculations out there. By the way, I'm gonna let me see. I'm gonna go through here very quickly. Okay. I'm gonna. I think we need. There's a few people in the chat that might need wrenches, so I'm gonna give them some wrenches right now.
What's up, CB?
Okay, John, have you seen this? You can have a standard moderator or a managing moderator now.
Yeah, there's a new feature. Yeah.
What is that all about? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, I know one person I trust, and I'm going to make them. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to remove them as a standard moderator and see if I can add them as a managing moderator now. Just for there we go. So you can't, if they're already a moderator, you have to unmod them and then make them a managing moderator.
Did you raise Rolando?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm going to do that next though, because I made sleeping a managing moderator.
There you go.
But now, Rolando, you are now a managing moderator. Feel the power.
Mega Demon collects. I like that. Yeah. How you doing?
Hey, Mega.
Yeah, Rolando is a great moderator for many channels. Listen, and Rolando does a wonderful job.
Listen, the man had eye surgery, for Christ's sake, and he was out like the very same day. That night, I swear to God, I saw him on chats that very night, modding other streams. The next day, I mean, he should have been resting his eye, but no, this guy is out there left and right, There's nothing that is going to slow Rolando down. Not even Natalie with her one hand. Not even Natalie with her good hand is going to slow this guy down. Speaking of slowing down, we got the man, the myth, the legend, the ultimate gamer himself, CB Hunts.
Dennis says, I want Ben to leap into Gucci.
Oh, God. And then, like, you know, he's like, and Ben's trying to figure out why he has bad breath. Ben leaps into Gucci and wakes up next to Tina. I don't know. That could be bad. So it's my turn. My three.
Yeah, your turn here. Go ahead,
My
Dave.
3 wishes. Oh boy. Yeah. I'm not just saying that because of the stream. I say that all the time at work. People look at me sideways like, "Oh boy, what's that from?" You wouldn't get it, millennials.
My dad used to say that all the time. He'd be like, "Oh boy." My dad, he would say that all the time.
I would say like, "Oh boy."
Yeah, see, my dad was more of the, "Oh boy."
CB said he had to quit the game. He was playing Mortal Shell. I'm thinking I might want to try and chance it. But tonight, I'm going to be, as soon as I'm off of here, I'm going to be playing Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. They got a new DLC. They got the real Ghostbusters items they're dropping as a free DLC today for anyone who plays Ghostbusters Unleashed. Like from the cartoon. They brought the old theme packs in as a DLC now. So I'm going to play that tonight. But yeah, my 3 wishes are this. Obviously, what I want is come on, just like you, John. I want Scott. I want Sam back in some shape or form. I mean, we got the original promo image of Sam as a holograph, as a hologram, when Addison's trying to tell Ben, okay, you know, this was Sam Beckett. This was the original Quantum Leap person. I want Sam to actually be there. I think it would be cool, like if Addison, or what if Magic, something was going on. Like what if, you know, that senator we haven't heard from for a while tries to do some nasty stuff towards the end of the season.
She's been out of it. She was only in the beginning. Yeah. She's been out of it.
But I mean, come on. Things are lining up that things are kind of settled down at the project. That it's about time we had something to really shake it up. And Janice is not the thing that's going to shake it up. I'm calling it that Janice is the thing that saves the project. That's all I'm saying. But I want Sam, like what I would really love is Sam to walk up to Magic on the street and, you know, just kind of like say, you know, listen, you know, I know things are dark right now. Things are going to work out. Trust me. I've seen it. And you're not alone in this. And like maybe Sam turns away, you know, and leaps out, or, you know, something like that. But like maybe Magic gets a moment with Sam, you know, even if this is like the only thing, the only scene that Scott films, like just to have him and Ernie Hudson, have Scott and Ernie Hudson do that scene. Because I know the one thing Magic wants is to just thank Sam for what he did, for saving his life. I mean, I think it would be an amazing scene. Yes, I know we have a season 2 coming up, but could you imagine, like, if things really do go sideways towards the end of the season, having Sam Beckett appear to you and tell you everything's going to work out, you're not alone in this, meaning that he's going to be trying to look out for Ben at some point in time. I mean, I think that would blow everybody's minds. I would love it. I'm sure you would love it. Everyone would just... the fans would go crazy, because I mean, can you imagine we get Scott, we get Sam in an episode, not a full episode, could even be like 3 or 4 minutes. Doesn't have to be anything beyond that. It's just something simple.
Yeah.
It would be something sweet and meaningful, especially for the character of Magic, that he could feel like he did finally succeed, but that knowing that Sam is out there and Sam's going to be watching their back.
Well, it would be.
I think that would be like a big.
The way that this show goes, it would be at the exact end of an episode, where like you would see Magic on.
I'm
like
down
in your
for
scenario,
that.
where like in your scenario, you would see Magic on the street buying a hot dog from one of those hot dog street vendors.
And what if it was Sam?
and next to behind him in line is Sam, and when he turns around, there's Sam, and then the show would end. That episode would end, and then next
Yep.
episode you would see their conversation. But yeah, but Anthony, this is something that Dave has said a number of times. Yeah,
Yeah, I've said it a lot of times. I mean, we can hear a little shimmer when he leaps out. That's all we hear, like a faint little shimmer, or it's not the original. Let's be honest. It's like
yeah,
a very, it's like a if you went to Five Below for sound effects, that's kind of what it sounds like. You know, I mean it's it's like, hey, you could go to a Best Buy for your action figures and collectibles, or you're gonna go to Ollie's. It is what it is. Um, I I mean, speaking of sound effects, I mean, how come we're not talking with Ziggy? I want Deborah Pratt's voice. We got the vocal intro in the very first episode, and that's all we got. For season 2, drop Addison's intro. Drop Addison's intro. Give us Deborah Pratt's. Just give us Deborah Pratt's voice, you know, as the intro for the episodes in season 2. Please just do it. You'd make the fans happy. I'm sure she would love it, because I mean, it's, as a producer and everything, I mean, yeah, she would love it, I'm sure. And why can't we have them talking to Ziggy and have it as Deborah's voice?
yeah,
I mean, I think that's a no-brainer right there. I mean, especially since obviously quantum leaping is different. The accelerator is amped up. Why not have the original Ziggy voice? And in the original show, they could talk to Ziggy just like you and I are talking right now.
mm-hmm.
I mean, why aren't they talking to Ziggy that way instead of just talking like, through code on a computer? It seems like a
Yeah.
step back, like 20 steps back,
Is that your number 2 then? You want to see him talking to Ziggy?
Yes, I want Ziggy. I mean, it would be, remember, and you, John, you and I know, and anyone who saw the original series, like Anthony and a few others, remember how sultry Ziggy was with
Sometimes,
Sam
yeah, yeah,
when Sam came home and she's like, "If you weren't my father," I mean, could you imagine that Ziggy talking to Magic and everyone else? I can see, like I think it'd be hilarious. The conversations between her and Ian would be hilarious. You
yeah,
know, I mean, it's where is and what happens to the original facility? Hell, yeah, Anthony, dude, are we like twins or something? I've been saying this since episode 1. What happened to the original project? Why is it like in LA or like Santa Clarita or something? It's like in Silicon Valley somewhere. Like they have homes. I mean, they can go shopping and get coffee whenever they want. Like, it's obviously in a heavily populated area. And would you really build an accelerator underneath this, like a suburb somewhere? I mean, it just seems a little, I don't know, Chernobyl waiting to happen. I don't know. Like, I've said this to John, by the way. I said this, like, what if something happens where the government steps in, takes over the project, so Magic and the crew go to the original Project Quantum Leap, and they're using the old accelerator, the old imaging chamber. Give me my damn door back! Come on,
yeah. The
and
door,
use
yeah,
the, give me the old door. I mean, all of us OG Quantum Leap fans, we want that door. You know,
yeah.
I mean, even if you didn't hear the door close, you didn't see the door close, you would hear the door. You would hear that
Well,
sound.
it's interesting that it always seemed like in the old show that doorway was the way that Al appeared to um, Sam,
Yeah,
but Addison just sort of
boop.
walks in like it's like there is no doorway. Yeah, and it's
You
it's
know,
just a weird. Yeah, it's a little
I
bit
mean,
strange,
it's those little things.
and
Anthony, I'm Anthony. I'm not gonna refuse that. You see what he put? Let me see here, because he talks about the uh, Ziggy. Ziggy was hot. still said inappropriate shit to Ziggy in Leap Home. Yeah, he's like, "Give me what I want, baby. If you weren't my father, it's like, yeah, because of course Sam said that kind of stuff because one, he simul leaped, so his mesons and neurons merged with Al, so part of him was Al, so that's where some of that stuff came back at. But I mean, yeah, it was the old show was just was it the Ricardo? What's this? Hey Dave, is there a complete package of the original series on Blu-ray for sale anywhere? I would buy the whole set. Ironically, there is a Blu-ray set that I think is either coming out this year because there's been DVD sets out there. You can buy the DVD sets. I actually have the entire series on Vudu, which is like an online movie store and platform. They have free movies, but they also have like movies you can buy, like it's like Movies Anywhere. I actually have the entire series on there. The entire series is also on Peacock, so you can watch the entire series on Peacock as well. There are different versions of the DVD set that will have different music in it. Some of it, and some of the episodes are out of order. So if you want to watch them in order, you probably want to go on Wikipedia and a few other sites to get the actual order to watch the episodes. Some of them are out of order, so it really depends on how you want to view it. But there is a Blu-ray set that is coming out this year that's supposed to be everything is completely restored. Just like that one scene where we see talking about magic and Tom, they cleaned the hell out of that scene. Remember how well they cleaned it up in the first episode? I mean, so if they're doing that I wonder if that was kind of like a backdoor teaser about the Blu-ray coming out. Who knows? I mean, if it comes out that clean, I'm probably going to get it. But I have it on. I have the digital copies basically right now. I also wish like they never gave us like any kind of collectibles. I mean, there's been Tron collectibles. Why not give me a Quantum Leap? Could you imagine like a 1/6 scale Sam Beckett in his suit? And you could have Al, and give Al like an actual LED light up hand link or something. I mean, come on. There are some people making the hand links, but I'm not paying $700-800 for a hand link. I mean, if I can get a 1/1 scale proton pack for $400 from Hasbro, there's got to be cheaper ways of getting a hand link. Come on. So I want the Sam moment. I want Ziggy back. My third option, let me see. I was always confused. Was the accelerator in image? No, they were two separate, because in the original show, in the Leap Home episode, was it Leap Home or was it Mirror Mirror? I'm blanking on it right now. Sam leaps in back to the project. He steps out of the accelerator chamber. You can see that it goes into the main control room, and then there's another ramp and doorway that leads to another portion, and that's the accelerator. So the accelerator and the imaging chamber were two separate items, even though you had uranium rings powering the imaging chamber, which have a half-life of what? Something.
Me, I don't know.
Come on, John, you should know this. But yeah, I mean, they look very similar, though. I mean, and we never saw. I mean, well, the imaging chamber was just a very like a blue screen room, basically. That was kind of like the technology they really used for it. And the accelerator was more. I mean, it was more metallic. I have the full DVD set. Yeah, Ricardo, if you're looking for them, you can find seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separately, or there's even some bundles you can find like on Amazon and a few other sites. You can find them like Best Buy, even Walmart has carried them before. So if you look around, you can get the DVD sets, but you might just want to wait a little bit longer and get the Blu-ray when it comes out.
Yeah.
My third one has to be trying to think. I want a situation where maybe it's a temporary leap or something, like something happens and Ben's in need, and someone else steps into the accelerator. Maybe if I mentioned this before, what if it's Magic that jumps in? You know,
Got you.
and Magic insists on Janice being the observer for him.
Got you.
Kind of
Yeah.
her fulfilling her destiny that she always thought she should be the person at the project. So, I mean, I could see something like that, you know? And what if by doing so, Magic steps into the accelerator and he's not saving Ben, he does something else. By adding a Magic to the whole equation with the program, someone else steps out of the accelerator.
Yeah.
Someone who has a little bit of experience with leaping through time.
There you go. There you go.
What if that's how Sam comes back? Because years ago, I wrote a story about this was a fan fiction on how they could find Sam Beckett. Was they found someone who they locked onto someone who had built their own machine, their own kind of makeshift, kind of like dollar store style kind of accelerator out of junk that they found. They built the accelerator, but they were about to die in it. But the project is trying to lock on to Sam, trying to find breadcrumbs of Sam because his body's gone. They find a trace signature that they think is Sam Beckett, but it's really this other person. And they lock onto the person because they can see that they can't see who the person actually is, but they know that they're in danger. So they lock onto that person just as the person's about to fire their accelerator at the same time, causing a lock. They bring the person completely to the project, but they find out that it's not Sam, it's someone else. But this is someone that Sam leaped into at one point in their life. So using a trace, they're trying to use kind of like if you follow exhaust fumes to follow a car, or there's like a little drops of oil from a car.
Sure.
You can
Yeah.
kind of follow the trace. Their hopes were to use that kind of quantum signature to backtrace Sam to find out where he is to lock onto him. So, I mean, who knows? There's anything is possible out there, but I would love to see something where maybe, Magic, steps into the accelerator to try and save Ben in order to do something to make things right again. But I think it would cause a lot of chaos if he insisted, I want Janice as the observer. I want Janice to be my link,
Well, right now,
not Edison or
yeah,
anyone
yeah.
else. So, I
If
mean,
you wait like 10 more episodes or something, Janice
it's
might
going
be
to be something
accepted.
crazy like that. Yeah.
Janice might be accepted by the group by then, and then they wouldn't question it. But if you did
Yeah.
something like that now in the next couple episodes, yeah, the group would question why Janice is the one he trusts.
Yeah. And going back to the whole, who's going to turn on the group. One, I still think that Addison, it might make more sense story wise that
it does
Addison
probably make
is
more
her,
sense. You're right. Yeah.
but Jen is still the weird X factor, because I said this before. She knew what drive to grab from Janice's lab. For one, the fact that she's so much against Janice, the fact that we know that her father has a lot of gambling issues, and that senator could still come back to bite them in the ass and use that against Jen to make Jen betray everybody. I mean, that can line up perfectly right there, especially since she sees that now Janice is at the project, for one, and
I
two,
guess
that Magic is willing to kind of bend over backwards to kind of like to break bread with Janice, as it were.
Yeah, I guess I could see that if the betrayal is something that's not currently going on, but it's something that starts in the future. Yeah. But currently right now, I don't think that
Hey,
Jen is
Dennis, that could
betraying the
happen.
group right now. Do you know what I mean?
Dennis, that could happen right there. He says, I want Ben to leap into the bar just as Sam was leaping.
That'd be funny, yeah.
Hey, and you want to know something? He's still alive. The actor who played Al the bartender and also Weird Ernie, he's still alive. So, hey, it could happen. He was actually, the last time I saw him act was in an episode of MacGyver, which he also appeared in the original MacGyver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ricardo, don't threaten me with a good time, man.
He doesn't have We need 23 more subscribers, Ricardo.
I would need. I don't have super chats because I'm not 1,000, and plus I won't be monetized for a long time because I still have over 1,500 watch hours to achieve before I can get monetization. So I don't know if they withhold monetization or if they will let me have the ability to have super chat after I hit 1,000. So I don't know if that's a possibility.
No, you
I
got to
will
wait
say
for the watch
this.
hours.
I will say this: if people do want to donate to the channel, there is my Cash App at $DavesDimension if you want to contribute to the channel in any shape or form. But honestly, I want anyone who wants to throw money at the channel, I want you guys to wait until Stream for the Cure for Roswell Park. I'd rather you
do it
guys
for
throw
the-
money at Roswell Park, not at me. Are things tight with me right now? Sure, yeah. But you know what? I rather, we fundraise for Roswell Park and we stream for a cure, guys. So that anyone that has a thought about donating to the channel, I'd rather have you guys do that. I'm going to have the next few weeks. I'm going to have links popping up for Roswell Park. So please, save your money for that, guys. I'd rather you guys did that. Okay. Well, shit, I want to support you. I'm sorry, I'm already married. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
No,
Dave, I'm going to have to.
Yeah, I'm
it's
going to be
getting to my
wrapping it because
time.
it's 2 hours now. So I want to thank Super Awesome Geek Show. John, what do you have going on this week? Another round of Jeopardy?
Yeah, Sunday we'll have another round of Jeopardy. I know Vern's playing. Do you want to play? I got to find 2 more players.
Yeah,
So
I told you a while ago I would play.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to go up against Vern? Because we'll get you on
what
this
time
week.
is it?
1 p.m.
What time is it? 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern. Either this or next week. It's 1 p.m. Eastern, so that's earlier for you.
I will make that work. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I got some interviews this week, but we'll take care of that.
We'll message and figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I should be able to make it work because I got some. When I say interviews, I'm talking with a few different cons to see if maybe I can get some interviews going on with because Nickel City Con's coming to Buffalo. That's our Buffalo Comic Con. Comes at the end of June, and we got some Power Rangers coming there. We got Sean Gunn, brother of James Gunn, and he played Kraglin in Guardians of the Galaxy. Michael Rooker's going to be there. We got a lot of people coming in, and I sent an email to Nickel City asking them about the potential of maybe having a social media person, small YouTube channel, maybe do some interviews, do some filming.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I've done that. I've done that with Reed Pop for a number of different conventions for probably the last 15 years. It's not up to the convention if an actor can actually do an interview.
Okay.
The actor has to have approval from whatever studio they're currently working with.
Well, I want to at least start off with maybe trying to get press credentials first. I'll work my way up.
They can give you,
because
on
their website they have a thing about press media, like press media coming soon. But I figured I would just I emailed them yesterday. It doesn't hurt to ask if they say no. They say no because
no, they should give you a press pass. That's real easy to get. Yeah,
because Saturday and Sunday I plan to be there as an actual exhibit with the Buffalo Ghostbusters. But that Friday, I plan on if I'm getting that. I'm still waiting to see if I get that day off. I plan to Friday to go to the con as Dave's Dimension, of course, and just have a good time and trying to interview some people and
because I had an interview. I had an interview set up. A lot of times you got to talk to their agents and people behind the scenes too. But I had an interview set up with young Boba Fett there, and we were all set. But when I got to the show, he sat down with me and we got a drink, and then he was like, "Okay, I got bad news. They won't let me do the interview because I'm doing a voiceover gig for this show, and I can't even tell you what show it is." But they're afraid because they haven't done any announcements that I might spill the beans accidentally. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. And I was going to leave. I was like, I thought that was it, but he was like, no, I got a half hour. I allotted a half hour with you. We're sitting here and talking and having a drink just off the record. You can't record it. So we just hung out for a half hour and had drinks and shot the
I think we just gave Anthony a heart attack. Yeah, I'm part of a charity cosplay group here in Buffalo called the Buffalo Ghostbusters, where you guys see my proton pack in the background here. I'm heavily into Ghostbusters. I actually joined them a few years ago. They are a charity cosplay group that fundraise year round, and their main charity is Toys for Tots. So we actually dress up in full gear. We even have a few Ectos. They're not 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteors, but they are modern vehicles that are done up to look like the Ghostbusters. You can actually look up our Facebook page on just go to you can actually go just to BuffaloGhostbusters.com or just look up Buffalo Ghostbusters on Facebook and you'll find our page and check us out.
Are you in Buffalo also, Anthony? That'd be cool.
I will. Well, I asked because of where I happen to work. Oh.
See?
He says, I'll message you on Instagram. Well, let a brother know.
Yeah.
Let a brother know. Yeah, you can message me on Instagram, Daves_Dimension on Instagram. So, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because I am going to be having a stream soon involving some Ghostbuster fans like Sam Hain that was on earlier. And if you're a Ghostbusters fan, we're going to be having a few people on for a stream where we're going to talk the Ghostbusters HasLab Proton Pack, and also what our impressions are, what we think of it, potential future mods. I actually have a few mods that are going to be happening to that pack very soon, and also of what the future Ghostbuster HasLabs could be, because they knocked it out of the park with this. The fans killed it in like 10 days. Oh, not well, was it 7 or 8 days? We hit goal. We hit the goal. We blew it out of the water. So they would be crazy not to do more. Especially since they've had 2 or 3 Star Wars failures in the past 2 years. So I mean, we'll see what happens. But John, you have your Star Wars Jeopardy. Do you have your Sunday morning show or just the Jeopardy?
Yeah. We'll do Sunday morning vintage. I'm not quite sure what the next.
Oh, you got Geek Strong with that, or
I don't know. He's on when he gets up. But we'll see if
he's on when he gets up.
If he's up early, he gets on. If he's not, if he slept in, he's not. So it just depends. Yeah.
Okay. And anything else? Any videos dropping this week?
I do have one. I picked up the giant Dungeons and Dragons.
The dragon.
The giant dragon. Yeah.
I keep seeing the dragon, but I'm not all in on getting the figures.
No, I don't care about the figures. The dragon looks awesome.
I mean, I'm tempted to get the dragon because I'm sure I could repurpose the dragon for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I actually have Ed 209 coming this week. The big NECA.
That's cool. Yeah, but hopefully it doesn't break in half while you're playing with it. Like all of Geek Strong's NECA lately. Have you seen that? Have you seen his streak? He's at 5. Geek Strong is at 5 NECA figures in a row that have broke during the review live on camera.
The only NECA I have had an issue with was Leonardo. His swords broke. His weapons broke. But him, I've had the Back to the Future NECA figures. I haven't had a single NECA break, actually. Only their accessories. So, knock on wood, that is. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully
Ed
209 is good, yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I got the damaged RoboCop and I got the regular RoboCop. So I'm gonna figure I'm probably gonna look at some cardboard, like they used to people do the printed cardboard diorama kind of background.
Yeah.
I want something kind of futuristic so I can have the 3 of them on the same shelf.
Sure.
But but guys, stay tuned next week, 8 p.m. on Tuesday. And if any of you guys want to join us next week, I'm going to have the link up. I'm going to put a link in the chat for you guys next week. But I want to thank our fellow Leaper, Super Awesome Geek Show. Stay tuned to his channel. And don't forget, he's got his trivia Jeopardy. I think that's the best way to describe it, right? Because it's just about everything.
Everything we grew up with, in a sense, you know.
And you have no idea. I was screaming so badly when I was watching this. I'm like, You're like martial. I'm like kung fu. He mentions martial arts in the question.
And Shaolin monk,
Oh.
kung fu, like everything was circling around kung fu.
I mean,
And
a lot of
they
the
still
questions
couldn't
were.
get it.
I'm sorry. A lot of the questions were easy for some people. I mean, like the was it the week before or something? You did a tailspin. I'm like,
It
it's
was
in the
in
lyrics.
the name was in the lyrics of the song. It's like,
Oh,
come on.
I was dying. I'm like, oh geez. I'm like, I would be killing it left and right, but we'll see what happens this week. But
Yeah.
guys, everyone in the chat, Ricardo, Rolando, Anthony S. I mean, Sal, Dennis, everyone who popped through, too many to name. You guys are awesome for coming through. Again, share the Quantum Leap stream, share the Leapcast to everyone. We want to get as many people involved in this as possible. I'm still hitting the social medias, but guys, thank you for popping in. We hope to see you guys next week, as we talk about the next episode of Quantum Leap. And like I said, you guys are always, if anyone ever wants to pop in the chat, even if you don't have a video camera, you just want to be a voice on here, it's always open. It's always an open stream. This is not an elitist club. Anyone and everyone can hop in. Okay? Except the bots. The bots have to stay out. We know server kind here. So,
No
guys,
server.
until next time, keep on busting.
See you later.
And we're always going to catch you on the flip side. Take care. Be well.
I'm turning blue right now, and there's a flashing
and watch
light
where
going.
you